It is Monday here on PTL, and boy, do we have questions for our next guest.
Certainly do, especially today when some big news broke earlier this morning. We want to know about our money after the election, how this will affect the outcome of our finances, and are there any smart moves we should be making now to protect our savings?
So Jayme Meredith, Senior Vice President at Hefren-Tillotson, is joining us with some answers. And again, we want to be clear, this is a non-political segment. We're talking in general about money matters following the presidential election. Jayme, though, we want to talk to you about the news that's breaking today, and that is that Pfizer came out with very promising news about a possible coronavirus vaccine, and Wall Street is listening, right?
Oh, absolutely. Pfizer announced early this morning that one of their tests showed that their vaccine was 90% positive on test subjects, and that sent the markets flying. Futures are up 1,400, 1,500 points in the Dow. With the markets just opening, the Dow's up over 5%. We're seeing some really strong rallies in not only the pharmaceutical names, but airlines as well, because if there's a vaccine and it's safe for a lot of folks to feel that it's safe to fly again, we're going to see a lot more business travel, a lot more vacation travel. So that's really, really good news for all of those industries, vacation, travel, bars, restaurants, all of those areas that are hit hardest from coronavirus. This is wonderful, wonderful news, and the markets are reacting in a very, very positive manner.
Now, Jayme, you said, and you've told us before, that a Republican or Democratic president won't necessarily affect the market, but there are differences in the agendas of these two individuals. And so how do you see that playing out?
Yeah, that's a good question. And I think one of the lessons learned is we survived this election. It was a very contentious election, not quite over yet. It's essentially over, but we're still waiting to see if President Trump, what he does on the legal end of things. But for all intents and purposes, it's over. There was a lot of hand-wringing leading into this election. We were warning folks, remember that you own companies. You don't own the White House. You don't own any of the big economic data. You own companies. But with President-elect Biden, we are going to see some big changes, a big shift from the President Trump agenda. We're going to see big changes in healthcare. We're going to see potential big changes in energy. We're going to see some potential big changes in taxes, both good and bad, depending on where you are on the economic scale. So we're advising clients to be aware of these changes, and we can get into the specifics, but certainly we're going to see some things move in different directions.
You know, are there sectors that if President-elect Biden ends up taking office, are there sectors that maybe you would want to remove your money from, and sectors that you would want to jump into, based on what we know his goals are?
Right. Opportunistically, we're probably going to see, I don't know if a revitalization, but certainly not the death of the Affordable Care Act. President Biden, or President-elect Biden, is proponing his Biden Care, which may see an expansion of Medicare. Certainly, we're going to see drug costs go down. We may see, if that happens, we may see an impact on frontline managed care, because that will be competing with the government. Pharmaceuticals, we may see them pull down a little bit, because the government will be now competing for drug costs. So we'll see those prices go down and profits go down. Also in the energy sector, President-elect Biden wants to increase solar and clean energy. So that is going to really pull some profits away, potentially pull some profits away from more traditional energy, or quote unquote dirty energy. Now, one of the things we're seeing is, with a more divided Congress, the blue sweep didn't happen. The Democrats lost some seats in the House. There's still a lot of seats up in the air, but the Senate also weakened the Republicans' control over the Senate. So really, there is not one party that has a very strong control. Historically, that's been very, very good for the markets, because extreme bills, extreme positions don't tend to pass. It tends to be the solid middle of the road that passes, and that's traditionally been very, very good. But we see the most action, again, pharmaceuticals, healthcare, energy, solar, those areas will probably see the most near-term play.
Jayme, I'm glad you brought up middle of the road, because when we're talking about middle class, lower income, people are desperate for stimulus money.
Right.
We saw those talks dwindling late summer, early fall. Anything that you're seeing, any movement and prediction on that?
Yeah, we're a little concerned that we may not see a stimulus package until after President-elect Biden gets sworn into office. Wouldn't be until January 20th. And some of the concerning areas are for folks who are suffering from COVID right now. A lot of the benefits from the CARES Act are expiring at the end of the year. So the enhanced unemployment benefits, the extra $300 a month, the extra 13 weeks, that's all ending at the end of the year. Other things such as student loan payment deferral and interest deferral, mortgage forbearance, a ban on a moratorium on mortgage foreclosures. All of those things are ending at the end of the year. And we're advising folks, if you find yourself still in a pinch, unable to work, please be aware, look at all of your benefits and make sure you understand which benefits are going away. Now, what we're hopeful for is President Biden and his tax plan. With that divided Congress, he had some extreme moves. There were going to be some big changes to the estate taxation, some taxes for higher earned individuals, big corporate tax changes. But again, with some weakening in the congressional side of things, we're just not sure what is going to be able to be passed. But from a stimulus standpoint, it doesn't appear that there's going to be any big moves until after Inauguration Day. So there's going to be a bit of a gap for a lot of folks that are suffering. And again, wish I had a magic bullet, but don't have a lot of good advice for that gap area.
Yeah, I think a lot of people wish there was. Okay, thanks so much, Jayme.
Absolutely. Great talking with you guys.
All right, as always, we want to thank Jayme for answering our questions, and we also want to thank Hefren-Tillotson for sponsoring today's Money Monday segment.